Hey everybody, happy Tuesday. We are StudioR12 Stencils. I'm Patty.
I'm Carrie.
And we're here to have some DIY fun and answer questions.
Lots of questions.
Lots of questions. You guys send in the questions and we answer them, and I think that is just the most legitimate way to have a business, is to be transparent and answer anything you want to know. So ask away, and Carrie has a surprise about that.
Yeah, so we asked for questions yesterday, and if you asked us a question yesterday, and if we answer it today, you're gonna get a prize. Like, how easy is that? And then there was also maybe an extra giveaway thing in the newsletter today. So if you haven't read your newsletter, you'll want to open it.
Yeah, pop your newsletter open to see
Surprises.
a special surprise.
They're like Easter eggs.
Yeah. Oh, it is like an Easter egg.
It is an Easter egg.
Hey, Easter is like this weekend.
Easter is this
Holy
weekend.
moly. Like literally, holy moly.
Holy
Yeah.
moly. But we do have a fun sale today, so we're going to be talking about
A bunch of things.
all kinds of
Yeah.
things today. We got a very wide range of questions, but so today's sale is going to be on the entire website. You can get $20 off a $50 order by using the code newsletter. So that's going to be our sale today. The code expires on 4/4/23 at 11:59 p.m. Eastern. You can only use one code per purchase.
Per person.
Per person.
Okay,
Per
per person.
Per person and per purchase.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, you can't double up on coupons. That would make us a broke company.
Yeah, we don't like that.
No brokey. Okay, so I'm going to start with last week's live.
Yeah, start with last week's live.
Carrie posted a picture of this when we got it finished, but
It did.
it disappeared or something.
It didn't post. I'm sorry.
Okay, so this is what we shared how to paint last week on the live, and that's what it looks like with the cow print all finished.
It's heavy.
If the mic can't see
it's
the mouth, it can't hear you.
Ginormous. Yeah, you can't hear me. So what I love about this, I'm going to set it down and talk about it for 1 second. Last week, it's in our YouTube channel. If you don't have, if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, you want to make sure to do that. I just went with the size of the Mylar that the stencil was printed on and just laid it on there. It was exactly the size of this rug. And then I didn't pay attention to where the words sat. And because of the length of the Y and some other things, it wasn't centered. So then in the live, I showed you how to fix that without fixing it, because I sprayed this before we started. And then I was like, ugh, that is not centered. And so what I did is I put a line and then filled the lower area with this print, and that gave it some balance. So I showed you all about that in that live. So check that out if you haven't seen that yet.
Donna Stark said that turned out moveless. I said we love puns. We love puns.
You so punny.
You so funny. Well, and it's funny because last week when we went live, the description was Happy Moose Day.
Yes,
So
I love
we
it.
definitely love it. Speaking of our YouTube channel, we are in the midst of releasing a super duper cool project. We have released part 1 and part 2 of our series, and this weekend we are going to release the final part of the series for our Home Sweet Home Wood Round.
This is the most fun I've had in a really long time as far as painting goes. We burned the wood to reveal the grain. That's in step 1. And then I stained it, and you should have heard, we went on a little road trip yesterday, and the 3 artists that were in the vehicle spent an hour talking about why it works with water-based stains over an oil-based stain. And we haven't had time to research it because we got home late last night. But so like we care so much that's our side conversations. I think Carrie was ready to
I was writing the newsletter for today, so it was fine. Lovely technology you can write in the car. But with this project, we burnt it first and then put on an oil-based stain to make the brown just really pop.
Yeah. So it's browner. So the wood was like that color, but once you burn it, it's still that color plus the grain. It turns the grain really dark. So you can see the darkness, but then it would be really light plus really dark. And then that would be really distracting. So by putting the brown stain on it, it like equalizes it.
Yeah,
Just a
and then
little.
over it, the red and blue are a water-based stain. And then
And they're magic. you
they are
guys.
magic. And then this weekend, we are going to show you how to choose a stencil, if you choose a stencil.
And then how to use parts of it.
And how to make it more masculine or more feminine. The round itself with the burning has a little bit of a more masculine feel
Yep.
to it. So Patty's going to show you some ways to feminize it.
If you want it for your pretty front porch, or if you want it for your practical front porch, or like you can change how you use a stencil will change how you are interpreting things. So I talk quite a bit about that in this lesson for this weekend.
Yes, and then she's also going to show you 3 different ways that you can use the rounds. We've just been talking with you guys about hanging the rounds on your wall or on your door, but there are so many other ways that you can use them, and so she's going to show some of that too.
Yeah, and this round, you guys, we give you the source in the videos or in the description and stuff. This is so affordable. I just need to order like 100.
Yeah, and I will.
You couldn't pay, like these are all pieced together, and they're actually not filled with a lot of voids. You want to check out our video on sealing the knots on things to see how to seal those, because that is important. But this side had no knots at all.
Yeah.
Like it's a really good piece of wood, or pieces of wood all glued together, and it's legit. So
Yeah, and I'll
it's
have
worthy.
Patty. We've had a couple people ask for the link for those. We haven't been in the office for a
we've
few
been-
days.
Yeah,
So
busy.
I will get that link and I will share it on our Facebook page for you guys.
You can get your workout. They're heavy, you guys. So make sure we talk about hanging and stuff like that in the video this weekend. We talk about how to finish, and we talk about how to do the stenciling, how to choose the stenciling, how to finish it, and how to use it in 3 different ways. So there's a lot of other information in there that's not in the first 2 videos.
Yep, agreed. And then we do have our giveaways from last week. They're going to go out very soon. It's been a wild
It's been a ride.
for the past week. So I have that on my long list of things to do today. So hopefully we'll get that out.
Yeah,
today
you
or
guys, we
tomorrow.
had a lot of weather. I think most of the country had that same weather. I personally did not have power for a bit of that time, and it takes a lot out of your company when you can't ship, can't cut, can't do this, and we've got generators and things like that, but it still takes a toll.
Yeah, well, and the internet was down in our town.
The internet was down in the whole town.
The whole town. No one had internet.
It's ridiculous. And not making excuses, just saying like, ugh. It's been a little ride. So
Yeah,
but
so
we're back.
We're back. Are you ready for questions?
Ready.
Okay, so we shared on Facebook yesterday a picture of all of us super excited and happy to go to the show. Keep your eyes and ears peeled. We have some really fun things we found, some fun announcements that we'll be making hopefully soon. And
Yeah, we went to an art materials kind of show, and it's an international one, and so we went and hobnobbed with all the makers of all of the art materials and made deals. We discovered, we
made some
Found
partnerships
spit.
and friendship.
like, you wouldn't believe the things we found yesterday. So we have an entire conference room covered in things that we found, and we will be testing and trying. And so you're gonna want to subscribe to the newsletter. You're gonna want to subscribe to the YouTube channel, because we have a lot that will be coming up. A lot.
Yes.
My testing brain is already like, trying to figure out like, what am I gonna do to make sure that works and stuff. So
Yeah,
we've got a lot
agreed.
to try.
Agreed. All right, so our first question that we received yesterday was from Cindy Long McNeil, and she
Yay.
said, do you put out new stencils for each season?
So am I on this camera over here?
Whichever one you're looking at.
Okay, I'm gonna go here. It's easier for me to go here until I'm standing over here, and then I can do that. So we've got, how many cameras do we have? 4? Yeah, I think we have 4 cameras. So it's always nice to know who you're talking to. Anyway, we do put out stencil sets. In years previous, for Christmas, we have done 160 Christmas stencils. Last year, I think we did 80. We cut it back a little bit. We have 7,000 titles of stencils. So if you want stencils, StudioR12, it's studio with the letter R and the number 12, is the place to go, because we have the 7,000 titles, and then plus out of those we have 3 to 5 sizes on most of them after the first 2 years or so that we were publishing. So, and we make them all here in the United States. We design them here in the United States. So like we're all about legitimately veteran-owned, woman-owned, United States made. So yes, we always do stencils for all the major seasons. And like we had some really cute Easter stuff. Oh my God, we got the cutest. We should share that on Facebook, the one that they sent us.
Yeah.
Yeah, super cute bunny stencil with all the decorated bunnies on it. We love to see you guys' artwork. So make sure that you are sending us pictures because we get jazzed. Like we're like, oh, Elaine was sitting across the room. She's like, oh my gosh, that's cute. You know, and we just get so excited about seeing your take on the stencils.
Yeah, agreed.
Super fun.
All right, our next question is from Patty Current.
Thank you, Patty Current.
Thank you, Patty Current. And Patty said, while using the sticky things to hang up the stencils on a rod, so the C-tab,
J-hook, D-hook, C-hook.
Do the sticky things come off from the water when you clean them?
So I never clean my stencils almost ever. But these are really, I will take this cow print right here and show you how stuck. Like I can make it come off, but I am making a little like muscle there. So they're pretty durable. So, and they're really cheap. So I think if you don't focus in that area and don't try to take it off, I don't think you're gonna have a problem with it coming off.
Yep, and I will share a link for that. Lisa Germain asked, do you use paint markers much?
Paint markers. That was a conversation from yesterday, actually.
Quite a bit.
We have not. I have been so busy being a DIY painter that paint markers have never really come into my vernacular. And so yesterday when we were at this giant show, we were seeing all kinds of markers, and we were seeing that other artists had markered with stencils, and we will be testing that and trying that. So it's coming.
Yes,
Excited.
And we have, I think I've done some markering with stencils, but just with normal markers.
Yeah.
When my bonus daughter's here some days, she loves the tiny pattern set, and we have a wonderful collection of Sharpie markers that she has color-coded for us. And she, as long as she doesn't have homework, she goes and grabs those markers and grabs her stencil set and draws on her notebooks or
She's
everything.
so creative.
Yeah. So markers are a great idea for
I think
kiddos
what's
especially.
interesting to me, and I think this is, so whenever you expose yourself to a big meeting of people, it is fascinating to see what people think is normal. You know, and so when I was walking around yesterday, you know, we had 4 of us there, and it was just a really, really positive experience for us. We were like, huh, you know, we were doing a lot of, huh. And what's silly is like, I come from the paint world, so of course you paint with a stencil, and I leave it there. And then now we're like, oh, look, there's a whole world that we've never explored, so watch out.
Yes.
Here we go.
Next is from Amy Prather Smith. What are your favorite flowers to paint? So I had Steve grab these for you.
Yes, actually, so these are stenciled roses, okay? And these are like, is that not legit? Like, give us a thumbs up for this one. Dustin Beach gets a thumbs up for this because he designed this stencil, and it's like, I think it's 6 layers, 7 layers, and they are gorgeous. If you've ever, and there's a little chart that shows you where to put the color. So you do a base in the whole of the pink, and then you go here and you do your darks and your lights on the different stencil bits. And that is what makes all of this come to life. And we've also done, we've stenciled, can you get that in there?
Hold it still.
Okay, I'm working on it. It's big, it's heavy.
That's modeling paste, yeah?
Yeah, so this is modeling paste, but that's a stencil that is floral as well. And we have a bunch of those as well. So I think that stenciling flowers is super forgiving and super amazing because I have taught so many classes all across the country because that's what I did before I started becoming a stencil master, I have seen more women cry over painting a rose than you can even believe. It is a ridiculous problem, and it's legitimate. I have had big giant rose painter teachers come in, not big giant, but big giant names come in and teach, and it's a hard thing to learn. And once you get it, you get it. But stencil roses are easy.
Easy peasy. Okay, so Pat Annunziato asked, and we actually had several people ask this question. Where do you find trends? How they want to know how we find trends, where we go, where we look.
So I have a couple of theories about this. My number one theory is be observant. When you are driving down the road, Elaine was driving through our town, and she's one of our designers. She was driving through our town, and she was like, holy moly, I never noticed that there was round signs on every door through our town. So then you go like, oh, this is kind of a legitimate thing. Then from there, we might notice something at Market. We might notice something at the Hobby Lobby. We might notice something at the Hobby Lobby.
The Walmart.
Yes, our Ohio State team, they call themselves the Ohio State. What are they? The
Buckeyes.
Buckeyes.
Yay, sports!
It's sports ball.
Yes, that was why it was so fun one day when Patty painted a porch sign with a football on it.
Sports ball.
But we also do a lot of research online.
Yeah.
You can get on Pinterest. You can get on TikTok. You can get on Instagram. You can get on Etsy and look at what finished products people are sending out. You can also, there's so many things that you can find online.
An interesting thing that I like to do is I like to sign up for newsletters that are for things like Pottery Barn. The more expensive something is, it's generally going to be the dictator of a trend. And that's why when you think of clothing, if you are high fashion, then you are going to set the fashion that trickles down to, say, Walmart. So it starts somewhere, then we denature it a little bit because it's kind of wild when you start out on the runway. And then it comes down, and then it comes down, and then it's at, what's the most expensive women's stores? At I don't shop at
like
those
a
stores.
Dolce & Gabbana? Like
I don't know. I don't know the names of these things.
Those
Yeah.
are like really high end.
Yeah. So you shop at the, what's the one where you resell the really expensive clothes? What's that site?
Poshmark.
Poshmark. Yeah, so she does that. I shop at Walmart.
I also
Whatever.
shop at Walmart. But yes, I do a lot of resale things.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so the big trends come down, and so I go on to big name stores that have been denatured already a little bit. Like Pottery Barn would be an example of that. They are not the elite of the elite, but now it's been filtered a little bit. So I sign up for those newsletters, and then when that stuff starts coming through my door and in my email, I'll just glance and scroll, and scroll. And it doesn't take very long, and you start seeing trends.
Right.
Then you hop on Pinterest, and it solidifies.
Yes.
You know?
Well, and we did that with the Country Living dupe project that we made.
Yeah, that
we
was
ended
super
up,
cool.
Patty found, and I shared it on both of the sites, but she found a sign that was beautiful. There were a ton of wood signs in that one magazine.
Yeah.
And so we started there. We ended up making an entire collection out of it.
Yeah.
And a really cool video that you could do for cheap.
Yeah, and the fun thing about that project, and that's on YouTube, the fun thing about that project was it was a $500 antique sign. And this really beautiful house was filled with these really distressed signs. So we decided that we know how to distress, and then we can save you a ton of money by doing DIY.
Yeah.
So that's what I love to do. Is I'm an Army brat, raised all over the place, no money, like from humble roots. I can't shop at those shops, so I'm gonna make it so that you can, and that's what I've spent most of my adult life doing is DIY for people.
I like that. I added some extra signs over there for you. We were asked, how do you store your holiday projects after the holiday so that they don't get ruined. But you know what you have and where they are.
Yeah.
I brought not that one. I brought the one in your Easter one in your hand because there's stuff all over it.
Okay.
And then the one beside of it has some red and blue at the top. Yeah.
Okay, so are you asking if it gets junked up? What do you do?
No, how do you store it properly? These weren't stored properly. And so what happened with these
They
is
were next to something.
they've been next to something else. They've gotten stuck to them. So how do you prevent that?
Okay, so there's a bunch of, I could go for a while on this, but we'll try to keep it simple and succinct. So you have a project and you want to know how to store it so it doesn't get all jacked up. Simple thing to do if you have it varnished, and even sometimes if you have varnished, is a piece of wax paper laying over your project, and then, tear it. Mine is all unwound. You can just lay that on top of there, stack your next sign, and then that is a super easy way. Then just keep layering your wax paper. I would suggest keeping like with like, your spring in your spring tote, your Christmas in your Christmas tote, or we have an area that is like on a shelf.
Yeah, it's kind of like one of these racks.
And you just stand them up in like a theme. So here's all my spring things if they don't fit in totes. Sometimes we get kind of big. I have three really giant signs that I put in my dining room wall. I do the same size sign for each season, and it hangs from a rope, takes up the whole darn wall.
The size of that table.
It's like the size of this table. And because the wall is big, and like I don't want a gallery wall there. I have busyness going on around it, and so I wanted it simple. And so I painted seasonal signs, and then one everyday sign. And I take those downstairs to my basement, where my freezer and my extra fridge is, and I put them either right behind that or right beside that, and it just nestles right in that little like secure area. And that's where I store my really big things. The neat thing about signs is they may be this big on a wall, but they're that skinny in your closet. So if you have some closet space or under the bed space, that's a good way to store them. But let's talk about these just a little bit more, because there's other ways to do it. You can also be okay with damaging with little scuffs on things. If you like distress, this is gonna just add to the niceness of it. You can varnish and make sure you're cured. Don't stick a freshly varnished sign next to another piece of wood and expect it not to stick to it. Okay, so you want to give it a day or two. The other thing that you can do is you can wax. So use a paste wax on it. Paste wax on tin especially will prevent it from chipping. It will prevent it from doing all of this transferring of things. It is a really nice sealant. I love a wombo combo of a DuraClear matte varnish followed by a wax. And if you need it food safe, then we have the Clapham's beeswax. So you can go this and then follow it with this. Wax is one of the hardest surfaces that cures the most hard. And so that is a really good protective coating.
Denise asked, she's working on 4-foot welcome porch leaners for a craft show in a couple of weeks, and she bought the Krylon 1311 to seal them. I've never used it before. The can says it covers 20 square feet, but it seems like it should cover more than that. I don't want to put it on too thin or too thick. So how do you know how thin or thick? What's your application process for this?
You're getting good at that.
I am.
We reference this like every video. I don't know if you've noticed that trend. If you're new here, we have had this out for like the last 5 weeks. So you shake it really well. I'm curious about why choosing this for the tall porch sign, because I feel like we have the paint and like cork and canvas business here in Gallipolis, where you can paint on a wood sign with a stencil. And we always use the paste finishing wax. And I think we didn't run out of this can size, which is 1 pound. It's interesting, 1 pound. 1 pound of natural wax. We didn't run out for over a year of everybody using the same can, including us for our samples. So it lasted a really long time. So I would probably choose this over this. I would use this when I have something that's an irregular shape. Yeah, glitter. If you've used a marker, you have to use this. So if you're accenting this with like a black marker, signing it, a little light mist, and you're going to be good. And then you can varnish or wax or do whatever you want to do after that. So there's special reasons for using this, but I wouldn't use this because I think it's the most expensive version of this. It's a good version. It's not wrong. I just feel like if you're painting to sell, I think you could save a lot of money by going this direction. And you can go with this right over your paint. You do not have to varnish. However, if you're painting to sell, this will make it sunproof. So it's like sunscreen for paint.
All right. Annie Schermerhorn asked, do you cut custom stencils? So currently we are not taking custom requests for stencils. However, we do have a very large selection of personalized stencils that can be customized with names or made more. That's our customization route right now.
Yeah. So you can choose any name, last name, first name, job title, Teacher Mary, happy birthday, that kind of stuff. So you can do whatever words you want on that personalized, as long as they fit. There's sometimes a character length.
Right. And then if you guys ever have any things that you're seeing trend-wise, or if there's things that you're seeing that we don't have, we have cow print now because customers were like, why don't you have cow print? I'm like, I don't know.
Okay, cow print. Okay, you guys, you're going to laugh about this. So Carrie says, customer emailed in and said, you guys don't have any cow print. And I was like, you're exactly right. We do not have cow print. And she's like, I think we have to do it. And in my head, I'm going, jangle, jangle. Why would we do a bunch of repeating cows on a thing? And it was like the cow print pattern. And I was like, I didn't understand. It was so funny. But we've done that. Morgan's on our marketing team. Morgan's mom sent us a picture of a fun snowman stencil last year. And it was like, oh, we have got to do something like this. And so we said, we will do it, we will make it, and we put it in our line. And, so we absolutely do suggestions all the time. We just don't customize.
Correct. And it really depends on what we have going on. We are in kicking off fall, Halloween, Christmas season.
Yeah, we're in that mode.
So the next few months are going to be
right now a little bit in my head.
Be a little busy.
It's only April. It's only April. Oh, and by the way, send birthday wishes to moi. It's coming up in this month. It's birthday month.
Watch the newsletter for your birthday.
Yes, we always do something.
Yeah, always
fun.
watch sign up for the newsletter, because in birthday month there will always be some hoopla. Founders Day. I feel like a founder.
Yeah, it's definitely Founders Day. Janice asked, and so I grabbed a couple of these for you to show it on. Can you please go over how to shade or highlight the edges of a project? So more of an antiquing.
Yeah, so let's pick on Mr. Reindeer here, because Mr. Reindeer got a little bit of scuffing and stuff like that. So we use the foam brush. This is a poly foam brush. And do we still have the destroyed one under here? Yeah. Okay. So what makes this special, if you guys go to any store that carries these foam brushes, including hardware stores, I want you to make sure that you push on the tip of these, okay? I want you to feel the foam. A lot of them are floppy moppies. They just like right over, and you can't do really good techniques. You can't base coat really well with them. They're literally a great like dab, 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 throw it away. But this is why these are special. The wood handle goes up into there, and it has a big piece of Mylar up in there glued onto it that goes almost all the way to the tip. So that makes it super like flexible, bouncy. And so that is the definition of a great foam brush. And we carry these on our website because they are amazing. I never carry anything on our website that doesn't work. So if it's on the website, it works.
I Patty approved.
Patty approved, yeah.
It is Patty
Start
approved.
putting the stamp of that on. Patty approved.
Patty approved. Yeah, I long time ago I lied to my mother way back when I was like 6, and I was like, I can never lie again. So you're gonna get it straight from my mouth. Okay, so let's go and show you how to do this. So you're gonna dip into your paint if we're just gonna distress the edges and make it like antiqued. And I'm just pouncing off. I could go ahead and blot over here so that you don't have very much. And the flicking action, if you pretend like you're sweeping dirt off of a floor where you put the brush down and you flick it up, that's the movement we're gonna be doing, but I'm gonna be doing it towards myself. So we are gonna go here and I'm just going to flick, and then that's the desired look. And then I'll pick up from this little puddle there, and I want some to be long and some to be short. We do not want a unibrow going straight across your project. No unibrows. Okay, and then what if I'm a super goober today and I had too much caffeine, or I'm tired, or whatever? What if I jack it all up? So what we do is we go in with our paint water, and you can just wipe it back. So you don't have to worry if you've messed it up. You can get that off and it's no problem at all. So feel confident that you can take it back off. Don't wait 10 minutes. You want to be like quick to do it. The other thing that you can do, I'm going to plop this in water. Always put your paint brushes in water. We have one of our people, I'm not going to name names, it's not Carrie or me, that nobody in this room will constantly use like brush, and then leave them off to the side. And when those are left off to the side, they're getting hard and they're getting ruined. And then I'm going to have to do a rescue mission on them. So your foam brushes go in the water, your brushes, everything goes in the water except fine brushes. Okay, the other way that you can antique something is use a sander. And I'm going to switch projects because I think this one is a really good project for that. So this is one that we've done, and you can see a little bit of that distressing here, antiquing. This one I can tell has been waxed. It's got a real smooth feel to it, but you can sand right through that. And we have videos that show you, I don't know if we have a video called how to remove wax, or I know we have videos that show it.
We just did it a couple of weeks ago on our live when we were talking about how to revamp an old project. So
Good. That's a really good thing to know how to do, because it may be really cool to have an antique surface this year, but next year things might get cleaner, or you might want to reuse this board. Like maybe you're out of your sunflower phase and you're like, I'm going to reuse that board. You can paint on the backs, you can repaint on the fronts. You got to know how to get the stuff off of your project, and that's what we show you in that. Anyway, so if you are going to distress an antique on this, I'm going to use like the corner of my brush, and we use these sanding blocks because they're hard and heavy. And I'll just do the same technique as I did with the brush. I'll pull down, not all the same. And then I might even come through and get into my lettering. And sanding is my cardio, right? So see how that just makes a lovely, and then you could dark wax over that. I cannot wait. I haven't gone back to the town that I got the water-based stains in, but I need to get some wood color stains out of that line, because that would be glorious to go over the top of your sanding. I'm excited. So that is how you do two types of distressing and antiquing.
All right, Brenda Guidry asks, can you stencil over decoupage project?
Absolutely, yeah. I was mystified by this. This is not going to be a decoupage project. I was mystified by this when I saw so many people asking if we use decoupage on our stencils to create non-bleeding. Number one, we use a dome brush. Our dome brushes are domed, and they do not bleed under unless you wad the paint in. And then even then, I've got a couple of videos where I'm trying to show it failing, and they won't fail. So it's that good. People have said they've solved their bleeding under problems. So I've never had the problem, so I didn't know it was a problem. And then I figured out the secret is the people that are using vinyl stencils, the vinyl kind of can pucker up a little bit when you start putting paint on it. And so if you put the decoupage right there and then you put paint on top of it, it won't bleed under. So that is why we were getting that question a lot, is because of vinyl stencils. And yeah, I could go on about vinyl stencils. I will not.
Lori Schmidt asked, which brush is the best for varnishing?
Well, let me say, choose a brush. So you can do a lot of different things for varnishing. Actually, I need another brush. Everybody needs a jar of sea sponges.
So we have several videos on varnishing. I'm going to share with you guys 4 ways to apply varnish to your painted wood signs. So all of these videos that I'm sharing are on our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
There is, when you go to our YouTube channel, there's a little header across the top that says home, videos, shorts, lives, playlist, community channels, about, and then there's a magnifying glass. And if you click on the magnifying glass and you look up the word varnish, every video and playlist that we have on varnishing, that we have put varnish in the title or in the description, will pop up.
Yeah.
So if you are looking for something specific on varnishing, you can look it up there. You can go to our playlist and look up.
Yeah, and so instead of showing all 4 of these on this, because that would make it long and you guys would be like out of your lunch break and all the things, I'm going to say these are some of the best tools to use. This one we do not carry. It is a dense foam applicator. This is the poly foam brush. This is the most magic brush that you could ever, this is I think Patty's favorite, or the 1-inch one is called the oval glaze. Thank you. The oval glaze brush is just a magic brush. I keep one in my tool drawer, you know, the junk drawer in your house. I keep it in there because I use it for touching up paint, trim, all of that kind of stuff. It is a magic brush. And then you can never go wrong with one of these wonderful little flat round edged sponges. You can use them to base coat. You can use them to paint. You can use them for varnish. You can use them for all the things. We keep one of these in each of our wax cans. So you wouldn't use the same one in the wax can that you would use in your water-based things. But yeah, it's amazing.
All right, and then, a sneeze is coming.
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna get it out.
She's gonna blow.
I'm gonna, Virginia Hansen said, what is the best way to wash long or extra huge stencils?
We have a video for that.
We do. And we wash, Patty has a big sink.
Yeah.
So it's going to depend on what your options are. But you can always put it in your bathtub.
Yeah.
If you need a large space, you can do
Well, and
tote.
I think in that video, we did it in a tote.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
the slide under your bed short
Yeah.
tote.
We totally had had a big long tote for a big stencil. Sometimes you want to soak them. If you get 5 to 8 layers of paint on a stencil, which is why I don't usually wash my stencils, is because I'm one and kind of done, because we move on to the next thing. Speaking of trends, I want to go back to that trend thing. Pottery Barn was interesting. I got them on my brain because they've come through 3 times in a week. I think they were doing some big sale. But their big trend right now is all quilt patterns. And I was dumbfounded. I was absolutely shocked because like a year ago, we were like, I think quilts are coming. And so we made an entire line of quilt stencils that are traditional quilt shapes. And Pottery Barn was like, hello to my little friend, the quilt. And it's amazing. So you want to go check them out and see what they've done. Look up quilt signs or quilt pattern signs on Pinterest. And you will see the most beautiful use of quilt patterns. And we have stencils for that. So it's just amazing. Like, I'm excited about that. That's on our schedule.
Yes, we have that scheduled. I was trying to share the link for that. let me see. I think I might have.
And guys, always give Carrie, be like, yay, Carrie, because she keeps us on track and in order. It's a good thing.
So those are all the questions that we've had yesterday from our Facebook page, but I do have a couple from YouTube that I'd like to
Cool,
go
yeah.
ahead and answer.
Yeah.
Pam Crawford said,
Hi, Pam.
I've been sealing porch leaners with DecoArt matte sealer then wax. Am I overdoing it?
I don't think so at all. I think that's a really good. Like I said, this is a sunscreen for your paint, and then this is just a really good hardcore finish. It doesn't take very much more time, and it doesn't take hardly any money to do that coat. And people see with their hands first. So when they walk up to your booth and they hold that in their hands, yours is gonna feel better than anybody else's out there. And if you can win that game, then the painting doesn't matter as much, and they just feel like they're getting a legitimately great project.
Yeah,
That's
agreed.
my opinion. All of these statements are opinions.
I think. How long after? Janice Turner asked, "How long after painting a sign do you wait before using wax?"
Well, when we're teaching our workshops, so we've pushed through, and I don't mean push through in a bad way, but we've sent many customers through our doors, thousands of people, and they paint it right then in a 2-hour workshop, and they wax it as soon as the paint is dry, and then they take it home. The only thing I will say about wax is if you are going to cart this in your car, it's a oil-based product, and so it has a smell. So you don't want to put this like next to your baby carrier and things like that. So you want to be a little bit cautious where you're going to keep it while it's off gassing and doing the thing. So I think I don't appreciate that smell myself. Steve was sniffing the flag project the other day.
Smells great.
This is great. I love this smell. So yeah, just be aware that it does have an odor, and let it be in the garage or whatever like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I think
did it.
that's we do still have some questions. We're going to go back and answer some on Facebook. I can answer those post live. If you have asked a question on YouTube and we did not get to it today, email me. I put my email address there. YouTube does not let us go back and talk to you after the video is over in that chat. So you can email me and we'll get your questions answered.
Yeah, we totally appreciate all of your questions. We appreciate you guys as our customers, and we love your DIY spirit. Please share photos with us, and we will see you Tuesday.